Hi, everybody. This is Saad. In working on suicidal empathy, working on a section about climate alarmism as a form of suicidal empathy, and I came across an essay that was written in 2016 by Ida Auken, Auken. I discuss her in another context in that section, but then I discovered this beauty and I tell you, it's something else. So I'm going to just read it for you and maybe interject some commentary. So here you go. This is from the World Economic Forum. It's titled Welcome to 2030. I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better. It's by Ida Auken, Member of Parliament, Parliament of Denmark, of course. Welcome to the year 2030. Welcome to my city, or should I say, our city. I don't own anything. I don't own a car. I don't own a house. I don't own any appliances or any clothes. By the way, that's the beauty of communism, right? We're all communal. We all share. We're all equal. It might seem odd to you, but it makes perfect sense for us in this city. Everything you considered a product has now become a service. We have access to transportation, accommodation, food, and all the things we need in our daily lives. One by one, all these things become free, so it ended up not making sense for us to own much. You see, there is a benevolent uh, big brother, an Orwellian big brother that will make you all equal, that will make everything free. Just like in Canada, everything is free as long as you're able to take all the money that the successful people make and redistribute it to everybody else, then everybody is equal. Everything is free. First, communication becomes digitized and free to everyone. Then, when clean energy became free, things started to move quickly. Transportation dropped dramatically in price. It made no sense for us to own cars anymore because we could all call a driveless vehicle or a flying car for longer journeys within minutes. We started transporting ourselves in a much more organized and coordinated way when public transport became easier, quicker, and more convenient than the car. Now I can hardly believe that we accepted congestion and traffic jams, not to mention the air pollution from combustion engines. What were we thinking? Do you see how kind she is? Sometimes I use my bike when I go to see some of my friends. I enjoy the exercise and the ride. It kind of gets the soul to come along on the journey. Funny how never some things never seem to lose their excitement. Walking, biking, cooking, drawing, and growing plants. It makes perfect sense and reminds us of how our culture emerged out of a close relationship with nature. Environmental problems seem so far away. In our city, we don't pay any rent, because someone else is using our free space whenever we do not need it. My living room is used for business meetings when I'm not there. You see how beautiful that is? You don't own your own house. When you don't want to use your shower, other men can come, use your shower, freshen up, and then they can have a business meeting. It'll probably work, and it probably wouldn't be any issues of safety or, rapes or anything like that. Once in a while, I will choose to cook for myself. It is easy. The necessary kitchen equipment is delivered at my door within minutes. Since transport becomes free, we stopped having all those things stuffed into our home. Why keep a pasta maker and a crepe cooker crammed into our cupboards? We can just order them when we need them. This also made me break through of the circular economy easier. When products are turned into services, no one has an interest in things with a short lifespan. Everything is designed for durability, repairability, and recyclability. The materials are flowing more quickly in our economy and can be transformed to new products pretty easily. Environmental problems seem far away since we only use clean energy and clean production methods. The air is clean, the water is clean, and nobody would dare to touch the protected areas of nature because they constitute such value to our well being. In the cities, we have plenty of green space and plants and trees all over. I still do not understand why in the past we filled all our free spots in the city with concrete. The death of shopping. Shopping? I can't really remember what that is. For most of us, it has been turned into choosing things to use. Sometimes I find this fun, and sometimes I just want the algorithm to do it for me. It knows my tastes better than I do by now. When AI and robots took over so much of our work, we suddenly had time to eat well, sleep well, and spend time with other people. The concept of rush hour makes no sense anymore, since the work that we do can be done at any time. By the way, you could do it in those, flexible homes where, depending on whether you're taking a shower or sleeping or not, you can, if you're not sleeping or taking a shower, then other men, Ahmed, Mahmoud, and Muhammad, could come for the business meetings, and you can rotate the home. So it'll all, everybody shares the space, everybody shares their homes. I've, I've also offered that, this whole thing of monogamy, we are each other's only sexual partners, is so antiquated. We can have a dating app where you could share access, sexual access to my wife, and then vice versa. You don't want homeless people to be sexless. You give your own wife, and vice versa. Everybody shares in a shared economy. It makes sense. You see, she's enlightened, she's empathetic, she's Scandinavian. She comes from the same area as Greta Thunberg, so you know that she's got sechel, as we say in Hebrew. All right, let's keep going. I don't really know if I would call it work anymore. It is more like thinking time, creation time, and development time. They live different kinds of lives outside of the city. For a while, everything was turned into entertainment, and people did not want to bother themselves with difficult issues. It was only at the last minute that we found out how to use all these new technologies for better purposes than just killing time. My biggest concern is all the people who do not live in our city, those we lost on the way, those who decided that it became too much, all this technology, those who felt obsolete and useless when robots and AI took over big parts of our jobs, those who got upset with the political system and turned against it. They live different kind of lives outside of the city. Some have formed little self-supplying communities. Others just stayed in the empty and abandoned houses in small 19th century villages. This is coming from the World Economic Forum, people. Once in a while, I get annoyed about the fact that I have no real privacy, nowhere I can go and not be registered. I know that somewhere everything I do, think, and dream of is recorded. I just hope that nobody will use it against me. Of course, nobody, the government wouldn't use it against you if they owned every single movement you make, if there was no personal property, personal space, personal car. Uh, Probably nobody would misuse that power. All in all, it is a good life, much better than the path we are on, where it became so clear that we would not continue with the same model of growth. We had all these terrible things happening: lifestyle diseases, climate change, the refugee crisis, environmental degradation. I mean, literally, by the way, these are all the topics that I discuss in Suicidal Empathy. Completely congested cities, water pollution, air pollution, social unrest, and unemployment. We lost too many people before we realized that we could do things differently. So that's the end of the article. I'll put the link to it, and somebody should archive it. I tried to archive it, I wasn't able to, because I'm sure they'll take it down at some point. So Ida Aachen has proposed that there should be a sharing app so that you no longer are allowed to own your car. She's also argued that you shouldn't own your own phone. It just becomes a rotating thing. You use any phone. You shouldn't have a personal home. You cannot own a home. I mean, I don't even think the communists have come up with such an Orwellian, Kafkaesque world. So you just have an app, and if you're not using your bedroom or your shower, as long as you make sure that your teenage daughter is not in the house, then you can just create an app where business meetings can happen with a bunch of men. Just make sure that it might be difficult in that you have to make sure that none of them are recidivist child rapists or sexual predators, but that should be easy to do once you monitor everybody and so on. So this is what you get from people who are perfectly decoupled from reality, from human nature, from individual dignity. We are all a collectivist blob driven by one goal: infinite empathy. Have a good day, everybody. Cheers.